Well, greetings, everyone, and welcome to a very special online event today. It's called Connect with the Sacred Hummingbird to Drink the Healing Nectar of Higher Consciousness. Andean spirit medicine practices for accessing the deep shamanic wisdom in royal animals. My name is Stephen Dunnan. I'm the founder and president of the Shift Network, and I could not be more blessed to be with you here because I love spending time with Puma Quispe Singona, who's not only a Shift faculty member, who's taught many programs, he's a beloved brother, he's an ally in creating the larger shift on the planet. We've done quite a number of trips now to Peru, and every one of them is an extraordinary blessing of wisdom, healing, and extended family. So today, we're going to have a chance to dive into a dimension of Andean shamanic practice that is really important, which is working with spirit animals. And you'll find that there's a much deeper, richer understanding of how to do this in this lineage that will really come alive and I think pay real dividends in your life if you put it into practice. So Puma, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you, Stephen. Very happy to be here. Hello, my global family.
Wonderful to have you here. I want to say right up front, we recently did a 7-week program with Puma and had such a great response to that we're really excited to now offer a brand new 3-month advanced course that we're going to share a little bit more about later in this event. And it's going to build on some of the themes from today. It's all about animal spirit medicine from the Andes. So more to come. So Puma, it's always great when you set a little bit more of a ceremonial context for us so that we enter into this sacred work of understanding together. So why don't we begin there?
Yes. So we're going to begin with a special journey, meditation, visualization of the powerful hummingbird, which is this sacred bird here in the Andes that has been one of the royal circle of animal spirits. And it's the symbol of these new times, of this powerful awakening and evolution. It's the main leader in the animal kingdom for this powerful transformation and healing happening now. So for that, we're going to call on the spirit of the hummingbird. We all relax, take a deep breath in. Hum with in the hum, please. I'm Jay okay, Jay Wake, Jay Wake, you're Jay Wake. Hum with in the. We call in the powerful spirit of the hummingbird to our sacred space. And this beautiful hummingbird arrives from the heavens, bringing to us powerful medicine, powerful healing, powerful awakening. So close your eyes, breathe deeply, feel comfortable. Visualize yourself flying way above whatever limitations, blockages, in the fastest and most accelerated ways of transformation and healing, way above whatever challenging processes, difficult processes, hard processes, towards a beautiful garden. This garden is full of colorful, beautiful flowers. It's paradise for you. Every flower represents opportunities. Every flower represents blessings, manifestations. You are in the Garden of Eden. You are in the garden of these powerful flowers with the most sweet and delicious nectar that is going to feed your spirit, your soul, and your whole being. As we're beginning these new cycles and these new times, every flower in this garden becomes a powerful manifestation of everything and anything that you need in this moment in your life. If it's healing, there is abundant healing for you in these flowers. If it's liberation, there is abundant liberation. If it's financial manifestation, there is abundant prosperity and financial abundance in this garden for you. You fly fast to one of these flowers and feed on the nectar. You are receiving in blessings powerful manifestation of everything that you need in this moment. The nectar of love, the nectar of joy and happiness, the nectar of powerful wisdom, intelligence, clarity, the nectar of inner peace. You go from flower to flower and you feast on these delicious nectars, blessings of Mother Earth, blessings of Great Spirit, Cosmic Father, Cosmic Mother. For these whole new cycles, for these whole new times, you take in abundant nectars. Every situation, every hard process now is transformed into love, into happiness, into abundance. There is no more difficult processes. There is no more hard processes. Because the medicine, the healing, the transformation needed for these challenging processes, for these limitations, is in each of the flowers in this garden. You give thanks to Mother Earth. You give thanks to this beautiful garden. You give thanks to each of these flowers. And you fly towards the sun, towards the light, in deep gratitude, because our Father Sun is going to shine back on us all of those blessings from these flowers, so that our life can always be an ever blooming, beautiful flower. We come back to our physical temple, to our sacred space, having learned the power of this hummingbird flying to the flowers and getting the nectars out of it. We breathe in deeply and we open our eyes.
Thank you, Puma. That was a beautiful dive into hummingbird consciousness. And I really love the metaphor of going for the nectar. And you spoke a little bit about how this times that we're in, and I think a lot of people have experienced the last few years is one of a lot of chaos and fair amount of darkness in the collective and a lot of fear in the collective. And I'm wondering if you can speak to that, some of those macro currents we're in, but like what is actually birthing right now and how hummingbird is really a part of us accessing that in ourselves.
In our Andean philosophy, we believe that we are constantly existing in powerful polarities, in these dual polarities. While there is a lot of chaos, while there is a lot of crisis, there is also a lot of heavenly blessings. There's also a lot of magic. And when we call in the spirit of the hummingbird, especially in these times, with that consciousness, with that mentality, we always make a flower of every situation in our life. In the midst of crisis and challenging processes, we look for the flower, we find beauty, we find the powerful medicine in it. And getting the nectar from it represents learning the powerful wisdom, the powerful teachings that all of these processes, all of these experiences have for us. So instead of being very busy struggling in the midst of this crisis, we are very busy making it beautiful, creating a lot of magic around every situation, every process. And we learn from it. We get the nectar out of it. It's powerful learning experiences. It's powerful awakening opportunities, powerful healing opportunities. So for that reason, our ancestors thousands of years ago have said that the hummingbird would be a powerful leader in these times of major awakening, transformation, and evolution of human consciousness. So this is the power, this is the beauty of this powerful animal spirit, and it's considered one of the royal animal spirits. They were part of a specific circle of masters. You know, in all the animal kingdom, there is even hierarchies. And the hummingbird is one of the powerful leaders in this circle of sacred royal animal spirits.
I'd love for you to share a little bit more about how you build that deeper connection so that there's more information, more guidance, more leading by example that we can get from the working with these royal animals.
Because we are part of a family here on Mother Earth, and all of the kingdoms of life are part of this sacred family, the animal kingdom is a kingdom of our older brothers and sisters. They have been here longer, and they have acquired a specific consciousness that is much more evolved than ours as human beings. And so for that reason, our ancestors always believed that they're existing in a much higher frequency of vibration, in a much higher frequency of energy. And because they are existing in that higher frequency, we can benefit from them by receiving a lot of the blessings, a lot of the sacred healing, guidance. So the best way to bring this magical spirit into our lives is by calling on them, by making them more present in our lives, by calling on them in our prayers, ceremonies, meditations, by journeying out to nature to meet with them. You know, as they fly across your path, they're bringing you omens, by hearing their sounds, by calling on their name or singing their name, we are bringing their magic into our lives. For example, the winged ones always give us freedom and liberation. They also give us powerful perspective because birds can see from above. And that perception has always been the best perception, is the perception of spirit. It is no longer one point of reference, it's all points of reference. So we call in the four-legged ones to be in deep communion to Pachamama, to Mother Earth. We call in the water animal spirits in order to connect with the cosmos and the universe, because the water is a portal to the stars, to the planets. We call in these powerful animal spirits for a specific medicine, specific healing. For example, if you call on the four-legged ones like the puma, the fox, the jaguars, whatever physical healing process you are going through can be accelerated because Pachamama gives them a specific healing energy that is much more efficient and much more powerful. So instead of healing in many months, many years, we can heal in a matter of hours. We can heal faster because that's what we can benefit from calling on these powerful animal spirits. So it's very special ways in which we can connect with them. But the most simple and the most powerful way is simply by calling on them, making them part of our sacred space. Like, for example, when we call on relatives, when we talk to, uncles, aunts, grandfathers, grandmothers, who are going to give us advice and wisdom. In the same way, we call on these sacred animal spirits. They're our elders. So they have so much more to share with us. They have seen the journey of humanity, and they have access to memory and intelligence that normally we wouldn't. We would achieve those in many years. But thanks to working with the animal spirits, we can achieve that in a matter of minutes, in a matter of seconds. It's a miracle. It's a miracle that we have access to when we connect with these sacred animal spirits.
I really love seeing them as kind of our elders in terms of the unfolding of the planet and what they've seen and witnessed. And I'm wondering if you can sort of give an example of how you might call upon a particular royal animal if you feel like you're trying to achieve something that is a bit out of reach or it's very difficult to accomplish. How might you sort of really consciously work with and cultivate that connection to help reach that goal?
So one of the wisdoms that I would like to share with you, Stephen, and our global family is they're already part of our world. Because we live together here on Mother Earth, they're constantly existing around us. Even though we connect with animals that only exist in specific parts of the planet, like, for example, the condor or the jaguar, they're part of our family already. They're connected with us already. That's why they live in our homes, near our homes, in the parks. So the closest animals we have near us, they're part of our family and our community. So the only powerful way of calling on them when they're far away, like, for example, the llama that lives here in the Andes, you need to use the word hampuy. In Quechua means welcome. It means come back. It means come to my sacred space. So we use the word hampuy and then the sacred animal's name, whether in English or whether in any other language that you may know, because it has a specific frequency of vibration, these names also. So it's important to know the name of the animal you're calling on them with the word hampuy 3 times, and then starting to feel that presence. We are actually only catching up in when we're calling on them. They're actually already part of our lives. That's why we dream with them. That's why we see them anywhere. Nowadays, with all the technology that we have near us, these animals can show up even on social media. They can show up on the internet, on the TV. Everything is an omen. It is already an encounter. It is already a communion. They don't show up just by accident. They show up with the specific blessings. So if you don't know why these animals are showing up, it's always good to research, and you will always have a reference. There is so much now that we can tap into in technology that can tell us so much about these animals anywhere in the planet. And when we didn't have that technology in ancient times, when some, for example, my grandfather had a very powerful communion with the wolf, but we don't have wolves here in the Andes. So he only saw it in a revelation, and he ever since called on it as his main leader, animal spirit, throughout his life. For many years, we didn't know which animal it was because he didn't have a name for it. He only had the image, the face, until one day he saw it on a T-shirt of a friend that was had the image of a wolf, and he said, "That's the totem animal." And he could see it in this round. And that encounter also represented that this friend wearing the T-shirt was going to be a very important friend. And he was Carl Hyatt, the photographer brother who became the only other student of grandfather because he was wearing this wolf T-shirt. So they come to us. They're part of our lives. We see them everywhere, and they're coming to us, bringing us blessings. What we need to do is to catch up with that connection. We also need to reach out to them by looking for them, by calling on them, and by making them part of our meditation ceremonies and rituals.
I love that. I wonder if you want to bring in a little bit about your own naming after Puma and sort of the symbolic importance of establishing that level of connection as well.
So I come from a Puma family. The middle name, the family name of Puma was on my mother's side and on my grandmother's side also. So I did not have it as a main name. And my grandfather was always saying that this powerful Puma lineage is important here in Chinchero, in our village. But it was not my name from the beginning. In the beginning of my training, I was called a giant man because when I was hit by lightning, I was above the eucalyptus trees and seeing everything from above. So ever since I was called Hatun. That was my first spiritual name that was given by my grandfather. And then when I was on a mountain, some years later, I tried to take away a baby lamb that this cat was taken from our herd. And I didn't succeed, but I got so close that when I came back to my grandmother, I said to my grandmother, grandmother, a cat is taking our baby lamb. And my grandmother holds my both shoulders and says, a cat or a dog? We were in the mountains, 15 kilometers away of the village. We used to live there for a week and then come back to the village. So we were way out in the wild. And if it was a dog, it was a fox. We did not bring our dog. If it was a cat, it was a puma. And that was dangerous. So the first thing my grandmother did was check that I didn't get scratched or hurt. I was fine. And then she tells me that, these are children of the mountains. And if they take one lamb, we will have 10 or 20 in return, so that I should never approach them. For my grandfather, that event was far more powerful. And it was my initiation as Puma. For my grandfather, he used to say, only a Puma can try to take away another Puma's food because they are royal animals. All the other animals respect the Puma. So ever since I was given the name Puma, because I tried to rescue my little baby lamb.
That's an amazing backstory. And I'm wondering if you can share a little bit more about how people can attune for what animals might be important for their own path, like with your grandfather with the wolf and you with the puma. How do you sort of tune in about which animals' spirits may be speaking to us more directly?
First, we need to find for ourselves, ever since we were children, what animals we were in most attracted to, whether they were winged ones, four-legged ones, water animals, in all these different kingdoms. We need to see which one is the one that we are most connected with naturally, ever since we were children. Then we need to ask to Mother Earth, which of these animal spirits is going to be a powerful totem, a powerful leader, powerful animal spirit in your life. And usually that reveals for you in actual life experiences when you have had experience with these animals, or in visions, in meditations, in what my grandfather used to call revelations. And then that powerful animal spirit becomes part of your whole life journey. And when you don't have the possibility of doing that by yourself, it's good to ask for elders from whatever communities, indigenous communities. They have oracles, they have rituals and ceremonies. They know how to connect you and reconnect you with your powerful animal spirit. Some communities throughout the planet still hold these traditions. Most people nowadays receive that initiation and that blessing from the elders, from the medicine men, medicine women. And we still have that living tradition here in the Andes. But when you don't have that, if you're living in the big cities, then you need to do your own research. You need to do your own journey. You need to meet them in the spirit world first, through meditations, through dreams, through powerful ceremonies. And then they become, they choose you, and you also choose them. And when you choose each other, they become these powerful animal spirits for the rest of your life.
I love that. Well, let's talk about, so you've referenced a few different royal animals. Maybe give us a little bit of a tour of some of the royal animals within your lineage, and what we might turn to each of them for in terms of accessing specific qualities or guidance.
We have a special circle of royal animals, and those are usually the ones we connect with for our greater service here on Pachamama. Not only we can benefit from them personally, but we can also benefit family and community from the communion with them. So for this sacred journey, for this advanced journey, we're going to be calling on the llama. The llama represents unconditional service of love. It's in the constellations, in the stars. All mountainsides were built in the shape of a llama to celebrate this powerful royal animal spirit. And it is one of the most important symbols of our spiritual journey here on Mother Earth. We're going to have the fox. The fox represents powerful intuition, sacred intelligence, cleverness, and agile mentality, fast process of perception, conception, thought processes. We're going to have the bear. The bear is a very powerful warrior spirit here in the Andes. Also, we have the spectacle bear in this part of the world, but the bears from all over the planet, they represent a special warrior force of Pachamama. They're powerful warriors, powerful spirits that bring order to chaos. We're going to be having the work with the owl, which is the master of the soul kingdom or the spirit kingdom, the one who teaches us to see in the invisible worlds or in the dimensions where our physical eyes don't see. So we're going to be connecting with condor and the eagle because of these powerful prophecies that our ancestors had about people of the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere meeting as spirit forces together and bringing powerful transformation and change to the whole planet. And these prophecies are becoming true in the nearing times when the condor and the eagle will fly together again. We're going to have the puma. Of course, the puma represents unconditional love, power of will. It was the most important royal animal spirit in the Andes because it represented this physical world, this physically materialized world. And thanks to that materialization, we're also in this physical temple. We're going to be working with the frog. We're going to be working with the serpent. Both of these reptiles represent powerful consciousness, sacred wisdom because of their connection to the waters. They represent abundance and prosperity, fertility, because the frog is the only one who can promise the continuity of life on this planet. It is the powerful bacteria that is planted here on Pachamama that gives evolution to all life here on Mother Earth. So that's why they call the frog the only owner of Pachamama. We're all honorary guests, but the frog is the owner because it's the one that can call on fertility and new life on this planet. We're going to be connecting with powerful hummingbird to complete, to master that art of making beautiful experiences, beautiful processes in the midst of struggles and crises, and getting the nectar out of it so that we can become powerful masters in receiving this powerful essence from all experiences, all processes in our life.
Well, it's beautiful to see them all arrayed like that together. And I know we spoke a little bit earlier about establishing a particular connection with one special animal, or that it's like you might have your totem animal. Why is it important to actually connect with this big diversity of different royal animals?
We have one that is for us for the rest of our lives as a powerful leader. But there's a whole family, there's a whole community. From each one of them, we receive specific gifts. In the journey that we have had with these 7 power animals, we have received from each a powerful wisdom, a powerful teaching that is, what our ancestors have experienced thousands of years ago in pre-Incan cultures. They had made full altars that can only be seen from the heavens, that can only be seen from the air, like in the Nazca altar, in these plains in the desert where these beautiful figures of these sacred animals were made. In the same way as our ancestors have, we are also continuing this powerful tradition of integrating as much as we can from every animal that is in the planet. These royal animal spirits are specifically chosen for us to make our awakening, our evolution process faster. And once we have reached that self-realization, then we can be of best service to our family, to our community globally. We can be of best service here on Pachamama. And because of that is why we are calling on these royal animal spirits. That's why we are working with them in these sacred times.
You have a phrase that you like to use that's referenced on the page describing today. I'd love for you to share a little bit more about how we're each part of a cosmic project and how that relates to the royal animals.
Thank you. Our ancestors always held this knowledge as something very powerful and very present. That's why they built whole temples with these hitching posts of the sun, these sundials or these astronomical observatories, where they believe you could harmonize your personal project, your individual referential plan to the cosmic projects, to the powerful divine plans. And that way you could be part of something much bigger that was going to affect eternity, that was going to affect thousands of years. And that's how our ancestors have built temples that would last the lifetimes of Pachamama, the lifetimes of the sun, that was not only counting solstices and equinoxes, that was not only marking those powerful astronomical events, but rather full cycles of thousands of years. In these cycles of thousands of years, according to the ancient prophecies, we're in a very powerful process of transition, where a humanity that was will no longer be, and a new humanity will be born here on Pachamama. And as part of that cosmic project that is happening, then in order to be more humane, in order to be more present, in order to have a more important footprint for thousands of years to come, for the new generations to receive this wisdom, we need to have our communion with the wisdom carriers, with the knowledge carriers, which are plants and also animals. And from those processes that, once again, the crystal puma, the crystal condor, the crystal hummingbird, the crystal serpent would shine on Mother Earth, so our consciousness, our mentality, that consciousness of being beings of light, children of the sun, will wake up again. And that cosmic project is on right now, as we speak. We have entered into that powerful new program just in 2012, referentially speaking, according to our processes. And we are now part of a much more powerful cosmic project where we are being, we might say, alchemized. We're being engineered. We are being manifested as a whole new consciousness, new humanity. And it will also apply into our physical body, some of which, all this technology already exists on Mother Earth, but we're going to be tapping into those new technologies very soon. And our animal spirits are a very important part of this project. That's why we need to have a communion with them so that we can accelerate our process of evolution and awakening.
Well, I love your vision and completely resonate with it. And to know that it happens to be in alignment with this deep prophecy of your lineage as well. One thing I also just wanted to ask you a little bit more about in today's call was really this seeing everybody through the eyes of beauty. You talked about really in a time of apparent chaos, just really focusing on the amplification and growth of the beauty. And I really experienced that with you and your extended family, that there's just such an orientation to the love and the beauty and the possibility, even if there's difficult things that arise. Sometimes we would hit, road bumps or speed bumps in our trips to Peru. And there's always this focus on what's emergent and what's beautiful. And I wonder if you can just share any insights you have into how you cultivate that as a daily practice and really amplify that in our lives.
It's very important to notice that a lot of things are happening for you. A lot of people forgot about the communion of everything that surrounds you. Here in the Andes, and the reason we forgot that is because we have developed a sense of ownership, of our belongings, of what we call mine. Here in the Andes, nothing really is ours, but everything is for us. And everything that is happening around you, everything that is happening to you is happening for you. So when you see that it's happening for you, you can then go a little bit deeper into the experience of everything that is happening for you. Things are not happening for you to make you stressed, worried, afraid, to make you feel afraid or in pain or in crisis. Things are happening for you as part of a blessing, as part of a magic, as part of the gift of life that is a miracle. So things are happening for you as a miracle. Miracles are happening for you. But in order to integrate these miracles fully, you first need to change your perception. So because they're already in a sacred order, because they're already coming from a sacred source, you just need to look into every experience a little bit deeper until you find the gift, until you find the miracle, until you find the beauty that it's carrying to you. Then you live life on omens, what I like to call sacred whispers of Cosmic Father, Cosmic Mother, saying, it's love that is being transmitted to you as a whispering to you. You can't hear it out loud, but you need to be a little bit more quiet. You need to be a little bit more peaceful in order to hear that I love you from Cosmic Father, Cosmic Mother, from divine creators. So for that reason, here in the Andes, we always put attention to everything that is happening around you as things that are happening for you. And as they're happening for you, you need to go a little bit deeper in your perception until you find that alchemic gold, that alchemic treasure that life is always gifting you with. Sometimes it comes in the forms of challenging processes. Sometimes it comes in the forms of crises and struggles. And yet, that's not the only way it comes. Magic can also manifest itself in bliss, in love, in joy, and for these new times, in powerful, gentle love, gentle processes.
I love that. What a beautiful set of messages for us all to take home. It's like when we can really embrace the alchemical gold of seeing that life is constantly gifting us. What a blessing that is. So Puma, you're just always such a joy to be with. And I want to spend a little more time talking about your upcoming program, since it is really a unique opportunity to go deeper into this wisdom tradition, this stream of awakened presence that you really work with, and to connect with our animal spirit allies in a much more profound way. So the program that Puma is going to be teaching builds upon a last program. We'll share a little bit about that last program as well. It's called Animal Spirit Medicine from the Andes. Connect with the wisdom of royal animal allies to transform your life and serve your global community. You can see it at the URL healingspiritanimals.com, healingspiritanimals.com. And this is going to be a 12-week program, and each week is building upon another royal animal, and so that each has a quality that weaves together into this more integrative whole, so that you have access to many different qualities of being from this really panoply of our animal allies. So I know you did a little bit earlier on this, but maybe share a little bit in each module, Puma, about the animals and maybe how we were going to practice to connect. So module 1 is on embody the energy of the llama to serve Pachamama and your community every day.
Yes, so the llama comes from the mountaintops, always shining white, and also comes from the stars constellation, the Sidereal Llama, which is just before the Southern Cross constellation. So it's a very powerful constellation that says, you are here to serve, and you are here to serve unconditionally, and you are here to serve in love. When we receive these initiations, we're going to be able to activate that powerful, loving service for our family, for our community. Everything and anything we can do. As I was saying before, as things are happening for us, nothing ever goes one way. We are also happening for family, for community, for the planet. So when we activate the powerful energy of the llama, we become this sacred service, even just with our thoughts, even just with our prayers, even just with the way we live life in ceremony. By simply blessing our sacred space, by blessing every moment of our life.
Module 2, reconnect with your cleverness, joy, and abundance through the spirit of the fox.
We're going to immediately activate that powerful intuition, that sacred intelligence that accesses intelligence of Mother Earth, intelligence of the cosmos, that has the power to be smart, very clever, because we need to have that fast, agile mentality to move ourselves, to shift in our situations and our processes, whatever crisis and difficulty, into the best magical opportunities of awakening, of healing. And we need to be very clever for that. So for that, the fox brings us that fast reaction energy. You know, they always say reaction not only is fast, but when it's wise, when it comes from the heart, when it comes from the intuition, is also the best action as medicine, as healing for family and community. So that's what we receive from the fox.
Module 3, activate vitality, radiant health, and physical strength with the energy of the bear.
The bear is an effortless servant here on Pachamama. They are known as the army force of Mother Earth. The bears bring order to the chaos. They're constantly in love, bringing sacred order, bringing sacred equilibrium, sacred balance. So as you reach that balance and equilibrium, you will feel restrained physically, emotionally, psychologically, and confident, so that you will receive all that vitality from Pachamama.
Module 4, spot life's future blessings even during the darkest times with the wisdom of the owl.
The owl is a guardian of the sixth dimension. It's a master of the realm of the soul. The soul exists in the past and the present and the future simultaneously. Because we have access to this sacred animal spirit, we can see the future. We can see the past. But what serves us is to prepare for what's coming up. What is being prepared by all the powerful cosmic forces ahead of us in our path. And that way we can prepare ourselves for those powerful events. It will activate the energy of oracle. It will activate the energy of seeing in the soul realms. It's a very powerful animal spirit to connect with and activate the sacred oracle within ourselves.
Module 5 is an integration session with Puma and the extended community, really focusing on distilling all of the shifts of the first 4 modules into action in your life. Then we go into module 6, soar above life's difficulties and become a master of effortless service with the spirit of the condor.
Condor is the highest flying bird on the planet. And because of that, our ancestors believed this being has the lightest heart of all beings in the planet. In order for you to have a light heart, you need to have forgiven, you need to have loved unconditionally, you need to have liberated yourself from whatever that was limiting you so that you can soar the highest skies. The connection with the condor will be a powerful initiation in our spirit journey, in our spiritual path, to see from above, to love unconditionally, and most importantly, to always maintain a light heart and have a long life of joy and happiness and powerful service.
Module 7, connect with the energy of the eagle to activate your warrior spirit of courage, leadership, and fearlessness.
The eagle is a very powerful prey animal. It's the bird that represents here in the Andes the generals, the chief of the military force in the Incan times, the most powerful high priests and priestesses who used to always achieve success, yes or yes. This is a very important animal spirit to call on in order to bring in once again that leadership spirit, that powerful courage, that sacred wisdom and confidence to take on the steps in life that are very important for us, that are one step preparing you for the next, and always creating with each step powerful changes and powerful transformation here on Pachamama.
Module 8, follow in the footsteps of the Puma to become more adaptable, strengthen your willpower, and connect with a clear vision for your life.
Puma activates the power of will. And our power of will is one of the most powerful forces of manifestation and creation. For that reason, our ancestors chose the Puma because the Puma can live in the coast, it can live up in the high mountains, it can live in the Amazon, Wherever the Puma goes, it fast adapts to its sacred space. For that reason, we need to learn that we're constantly going in life through different spaces, through different processes. And the faster and the gentler our adaptation happens, the better for our sacred service here on Pachamama. Guiding our sacred power of will is so important because it can bring powerful changes here on Mother Earth.
Module 9, summon miracles, magic, abundant love, and happiness into your life with the energy of the frog.
The frog is the master of fertility, is the master of abundance and prosperity. Because it follows the rain, because it lives with the four elements, because it comes from the water and has given itself new life. For that reason, we believe the frog is the only being who can bring abundance and prosperity in our lives. It is important to have abundant love, abundant joy, abundant finance in order to take better care of our family and our community.
Module 10, embody the power of the serpent to transcend your limitations and move forward in your life.
The serpent in the Andes represents the inner world. And we have within ourselves sacred wisdom, powerful intelligence. We have encoded in our DNA sacred cosmic formulas to make our lives more magical, more powerful, more transcendental, more fruitful, so that all our global family and our global community can benefit from the words we say, the actions that we have, the thoughts that we have, even our breath becoming powerful magic that we're constantly sharing throughout the planet. And do that in the most effortless way.
Module 11 is then another integration session. It's focusing on really integrating all these practices together. And then module 12, embody the energy of the hummingbird to evolve your consciousness so you can thrive.
So with this module, we're going to be activating creativity and initiative. We need to have creativity. We need to become artists in order to paint around us a life full of flowers, full of color, full of beauty. We need to have referential points that we constantly reach out to in order to bring beauty into our lives. We need to always live beautiful. And that's why we need to be surrounded by these sacred flowers. We need to have the initiative. We need to be, we need to have the appetite. We need to have the thirst for the nectar of the light so that we can go looking for these flowers and receive as much nectar in order to live in this life, in satisfaction, in contentment, in gratitude, in love.
Beautiful. What an exquisite program this is going to be. And I just know that as people develop a deep relationship with each of these royal animals, that it's each of the, we're drinking in the qualities, like when you talk about the hummingbird taking the nectar and from whatever the challenge is, it's like each situation there is nectar and there are great blessings and beauty, and each of these animals can help us cultivate that. So again, the whole program is laid out in detail at the URL healingspiritanimals.com, healingspiritanimals.com. So as we said, it's going to be a 12-week program, and it really builds upon the previous 7-week program called Shamanic Rituals to Embody the Healing Power of Spirit Animals. So for those of you who were not in that first 7-week program, which had great reviews and people just loved it, that's included in your purchase price for this. So you can catch up with the 7-week program and then build into the 12-week program with this companion program, the Shamanic Rituals to Embody the Healing Power of Spirit Animals. And Puma, I'd love for you to share any reflections on that 7-week program and what was particularly juicy and valuable for folks.
In this course, we had the presence of indigenous people from different parts of the world that have as a way of life, as a way of their ritualistic spiritual practice, the communion with these sacred animals. So it was awesome. It was like sharing with wonderful brothers and sisters, an experience of a lifetime connecting with these animal spirits. That's what I loved the most. And then for a lot of people, entering into new worlds, into new dimensions, discovering new experiences about the animals that we had in the course, but also the other animals that live around them, that was easier to connect with and also to be in communion with, to receive their wisdom, their medicine, their sacred nature. It was indeed a very powerful journey, and that was my highlight, connecting with other masters or working with animals from different indigenous communities.
That's awesome. Well, it's going to be such a beautiful program. So you get not only the 12 90-minute live new sessions with Puma, in which we just outlined, you'll get recordings of every sessions, video and audio, word-for-word transcripts, weekly practices for home. There's a Facebook community. On the page, you'll see a number of other bonuses as well. There's a power of breath in Andean rituals. This is a video teaching from Puma. And we have a special video dialogue with Puma and Magali, his beloved sister, on the fifth dimension of spirit and soul. That's your special bonus if you sign up right away. And Puma, you want to share a little bit about that dialogue you and Magali did?
So my sister is a master of the dream world and the fifth dimension. So we are sharing about the communion and the connection with these sacred animal spirits in the fifth dimension, which is our dreams. How important it is for us to call on them into our dreams, and how important it is to interpret right away the powerful blessings that we are receiving as soon as we've had them in our dreams. So it's going to be a beautiful sharing of this sacred wisdom of these Andean traditions in the dream world.
Well, what a blessing this is going to be. And that's your special bonus when you sign up by midnight tonight, the fifth dimension of spirit and soul. So we've kept the investment for this full package, which includes the 12 new live teachings, the whole previous 7-week program, which was a $347 value. It's just 3 payments of $347 for the whole package, or you save 10% when you pay in full with 1 payment of $946. The course is going to begin on February 5th and run Mondays at 1 Pacific, 4 Eastern. But even if you can't make the live times, you can still get the full value with the recordings, the transcripts, and the community as well. And I particularly encourage you to go to the page at Healing Spirit Animals and read through some of the testimonials. I just spent some time in Peru with Puma, and people just fall into love with themselves, with each other, with nature by spending time around him, because he's in love with all of the world as well. And that really is, it's so infectious to be around and so inspiring to be around, that you're really going to be in great hands, and you're going to get such a powerful wisdom transmission and really a template for a sacred way of living on this planet. So you're in great hands, and you're going to be very blessed if you choose to move forward. And again, all the details are at healingspiritanimals.com. So Puma, we're at the end of our time together. Love being with you, brother. And anything that's still on your heart you want to share with folks who are considering going into this new, beautiful program with animal spirit medicine from the Andes?
Welcome to these magical journeys, my wonderful family, and blessings to you from these sacred animals, especially the hummingbird for today, so that you can fly free. You can always see beauty in every person, in every process, in every situation, and make sure you get the nectar out of it abundantly. Be generous with yourselves. Infinite blessings, and looking forward to having you in this awesome journey.
Thank you, Puma. Thank you all for joining us. What a blessing. And if you'd like to go further, it's again, healingspiritanimals.com. Many blessings.